Every summer, the Elmhurst Police Department holds their award-winning Neighborhood Roll Call program in neighborhoods throughout Elmhurst, offering residents an opportunity to meet their local police officers in an informal, non-enforcement setting. Occurring on neighborhood corners, officers run their roll call briefings as they change shifts. Residents are invited to listen in and get up to speed on recent issues, as well as to ask any questions they may have. The program runs through the summer months, and signs will mark the area 1 week prior to where the neighborhood roll call will occur. Residents can find detailed information on the city's website and on the Elmhurst Police Department Facebook page.
Traditionally in neighborhood roll calls, we will meet the citizens. Citizens have the opportunity to meet police officers that work in their specific area, and then we relay information which is important for the residents to know what is going on in their community.
I just like to see that the community came together, that there were people here, that there was plenty of officers here that were super informative.
It's a community engagement event. Members of the community get to come out and talk with us about current events that are going on within the city and different crime hazards that may be occurring, and it's a good opportunity for them to ask us questions.
At the neighborhood roll calls, there's a lot of things that the residents can learn. Just stuff that's been going on in the neighborhood. Not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody reads newspapers.
I just think it's very, very informative, and it's just nice to know that we have such a wonderful police force that is really, truly, watching out for us and in the neighborhoods and everything. So
it's a great time for them to ask us questions, and it's a great time for us to be able to interact with them in a positive light. A lot of times when we go to something, it's not under the best circumstances, and this is a great way for them to interact with us and be able to talk with us and not just see us, passing by in a car or something like that.
It's just kind of nice to hear it firsthand and to get the recommendations, that they're giving us to stay safe.
The goal of the neighborhood roll call is to assist the police department in forming partnerships with the community, to inform the residents of any ongoing crime trends which are happening within the town, and also to assist the residents in helping us keep their neighborhood safe.
Coming soon to your neighborhood. Don't miss it. For information, please visit www.elmhurst.org/NRC or call 630-530-3061.
Welcome to the 2017-2018 Exemplary Youth Service Awards here at Sandburg Middle School. I'm Ken Bartels, Senior Vice President and Director of the Community Bank of Elmhurst, and I'll be the MC for this evening, and thank you once again for joining us. This very special group of young people make a difference to others, to their community, and to themselves, as you will see, and we're proud to celebrate their efforts and congratulate all of them on their achievements. So we also, yeah, absolutely. There's room for a lot of applause tonight, but we've also got about 81 names to get through. So we also want to thank the nominators. Without the nominations, we don't have any award winners. And obviously the family members and friends who are here to support the awardees. So it is again a very special evening in Elmhurst, as it has been for many, many years now. There are stars on the program, but there are even better stars right here in our midst. So to begin, let me introduce to you our host, District 205 Superintendent, Dr. David Moyer.
Thank you, Ken. I'd like to acknowledge my Communications Director, Malia Smith, who is retiring and leaving us shortly, but she serves on the commission and is here tonight. And also, I believe I saw one of my board members, Karen Stufen, is one of our board secretaries. If there are any other board members here, I certainly recognize you, but Karen's the only one I saw. So thank you for coming out. And good evening to all of you. Whenever I'm having a rough day, the first thing I do is try to find some reason to get to one of our schools and to be where the kids are. And this evening is an example of why that's the case. I'm very pleased to be here with all of you, as this is one of my favorite events of the year. I'm a member of the Elmhurst Rotary Club, and several of my cabinet members are members of some other service organizations around town like Kiwanis and Lions. And for decades now, membership in service organizations like these have been dropping. And this is due to a variety of factors, but these organizations have done significant things for their communities over the years. What I'm hoping for you is that your philanthropic spirit does not begin and end tonight. I sincerely hope that this is only the beginning of a lifetime of giving and service for you. I hope your commitment to community never wanes. I'm honored to have the opportunity to personally say thank you tonight to all of you for all that you do. Congratulations on this well-deserved distinction.
Thank you, Dr. Moyer. I would also, at this point, like to introduce to you the Mayor of Elmhurst, the Honorable Steve Morley.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'd also like to welcome you to this event tonight. I want to certainly start by thanking the Commission on Youth. Everyone who's on there, on the back of the program that you don't have, is a list of everybody. I certainly want to thank Jackie Tamer, who chairs this commission. I think it's a testament to Jackie, actually, that we're short of programs. Because I can tell you this, when I first became mayor about 5 or 6 years ago, the Commission on Youth was supposed to have 9 people on it, and it had 3. And I don't know if it was something I said, but within 1 month we were down to 2. I'm happy to say that Malia stuck with me. But in a short amount of time, between Malia and then Jackie took over, we have not only a fully staffed Commission on Youth, but we have an active and functioning Commission on Youth. When I first got started, the Commission on Youth folks got together and they asked me, what was I hoping to achieve? And I said it was very easy, 3 things. I wanted to see some volunteer program, a work program, and a drug awareness program. And I think if you take a look at just the a quick peek at what the Youth Commission does over the entire year, they have exceeded that in spades. So I truly want to thank all the members of the Youth Commission for all they do on behalf of the community. Recognizing some of the young men and women tonight is just a small part of it. On behalf of the Elmhurst City Council, city staff, and members of the Commission on Youth, we would like to thank you for joining us as we honor 81 wonderful community volunteers. Tonight we shine a spotlight on young people who give of themselves. I am certain the contributions of the young men and women in this room will continue to benefit our community and others in the future. As the Mayor of Elmhurst, I join my colleagues on the City Council and fellow community members in saying that I am pleased to be part of a community that recognizes the outcomes of volunteer contributions among our young people. More importantly, we recognize the human characteristics and skills that Elmhurst young people develop over time and ultimately make Elmhurst a wonderful community to be a part of. From elementary school to high school, the young people in this room possess not only a wealth of compassion and an eagerness to contribute, but also an abundance of talents and leadership. You have our deepest respect. I want to take a brief moment to thank the 3 community leaders. You know, there's more lights than normal. I can't see anybody out there. So I can't tell you if they're here because I didn't see them, but Deputy Chief, the 3 volunteers who read and judged the entries for tonight's awards. Deputy Chief Bill Anashevitz, if you're here. Deputy Chief Mike McLean and Alderman Marty Deuter all participated in recognizing these folks tonight. We also want to express our gratitude to the adults who nominated these young volunteers and brought their service to our attention of our community. I also want to recognize 2 people. Now, Dave mentioned Malia Smith, and certainly Malia has been an integral part not only of this Commission on Youth, but of District 205. Malia is retiring, but Sharon Carpiel, who I think has worked at the library for, I'm going to get this wrong, I'm going to say it was 37 years. Sharon's a member of our Youth Commission, and she is also retiring. We wish them both well in retirement. One last thing that I'm going to ask these young people who are here, these young people that we're recognizing, I'm going to ask them for one more favor. There's an old saying that says, if you want to get something done or you need help, ask a busy person. Well, that's what I'm going to do here tonight. Not only are we honoring you tonight, but I'm going to ask you one last favor. I think you recognize the young people who are here. I think you recognize how fulfilling it can be to volunteer. And I'm asking you to do one thing, and that is, between now and this time next year, find one other student, one other person, one other neighbor, and recruit them. I think they will understand. You know, the toughest thing about volunteering is actually saying you're going to do it. Once you start volunteering, once you actually get to the job or you're helping somebody out, it's easy, and it actually feels kind of good. So I'm asking you to recruit one person. Everybody here who is being recognized tonight, recruit one person. I think you'll find, and I noticed it this morning when I looked in the mirror, when you volunteer, especially when you're working with people who you don't know, sometimes it's old people. That was me. I looked in the mirror today. I'm like, geez, I'm one of the old people now. But I think you're going to find when you volunteer, there is a wealth of experience and knowledge out there in the people that you interact with. And that kind of interaction and those learnings that you get from doing that really are invaluable. So not only is volunteering a great thing to do, but it's very rewarding. So I encourage you to encourage others to do so. And I just want to thank all of you tonight, and I'm looking forward to tonight's program.
So, we begin with the commendable individual awards for each of the following nominees, and there are 18 of such awards in this category. And we begin with Thomas Bennett, was nominated by Denise Panic of Elmhurst Hospital. Thomas is a part of the Teen Volunteer Program at Elmhurst Hospital, where he volunteers and serves as a volunteer guest assistant and is the hospital's teen trainer for new volunteers. His nominator explains that Thomas treats all who enter with the utmost respect and kindness and empathy. He takes initiative and is communicative. The hospital and our community are grateful for Thomas's gifts, and I don't think Thomas is here. Thomas, are you here? If you are, you should be well on your way. So we thank Thomas anyway. Shara Rock of the Elmhurst Public Library nominated Ellie Casey for her exemplary service. Like many Elmhurst young people, Ellie has been coming to the library since she was small. Over a year ago, she started sharing her commitment to the library through volunteering. Ellie assists librarians and the children's programs. She is assigned projects rarely given to volunteers, yet the library has full confidence in her abilities. Ellie is cheerful, enthusiastic, and a willing contributor each day she volunteers. The staff at the library is certain Ellie will use her enthusiasm, skills, and commitment to make valuable volunteer contributions into the future and hope that she remains involved with the library. Thank you, Ellie. Betsy Aldred, retired teacher and former city alderman, nominated Thomas Flock for his exemplary contribution to his community and his work with St. Peter's United Church of Christ. Since middle school, Thomas has volunteered, completing projects such as packing food boxes at the Northern Illinois Food Bank, tending to the Prairie Path and monarch restoration, and much, much more. He engages in mission trips, Sleep Out Saturday to raise money for bridge communities, PADS, Grace Cafe, among just a few examples. He is also a contributor to the York community, including the Order of the Arrow and Honor Society of Boy Scouts. Thank you, Thomas, for your commitment to your church community, your school community, and the Elmhurst community. Thank you. Jessica Tatavosian, nominated Emily Fujiwara from Bryan Middle School. She is a rehearsal assistant for the morning curricular choir class, and she spent several hours on her own creating a promotional video to encourage elementary students to join choir. This work not only has been invaluable to our choir students, but also to younger students to encourage their awareness of opportunities in middle school. Thank you, Emily, for your commitment. Julia Jardin was nominated by Kay Pollack for her work with the People's Resource Center in Westmont. In her nomination, Kay explains that Julie is awesome. Julia shops with clients, assists them in selecting food items, and answers questions. She recognizes many of the clients and makes them feel welcome. Kay explains that Julia is a perfect volunteer. She always has a smile on her face, is extremely friendly, always has nice things to say, and makes vulnerable clients feel comfortable. Thank you, Julia. Mary Small nominated Abby Lockey for her exemplary service to the Elmhurst community. Abby volunteers for the YMCA, Easter Seals Day Camp, PADS, Grace Cafe, tutoring at the Edison School, and Access Sports. She began volunteering for Access Sports 7 years ago and now serves on the youth board and to help organize fundraisers and special events. Access Sports leadership recognizes Abby for her dedication, enthusiasm, and the joy and excitement she brings every single day. Abby.
Hi, Abby.
I don't think that's Abby, but that's absolutely all right. Jeremy Thomas, a teacher at Bryan Middle School, nominated Megan Martin. Megan helps coach Bryan volleyball players. She helps lead practice, assist in planning drills, and most importantly, makes a positive contribution with the team, always pumping them up and providing a fun and positive practice atmosphere, as well as positive, constructive feedback. She's a natural leader who's always willing to put others before herself. Thank you, Megan. Charles Miller was nominated by Sarah Kurth of the Lazadro Museum of Lapidary Art for his volunteerism. Over the past 2.5 years, Charles has served as a volunteer for many of the museum's programs, field trips, and special events. He also used his experiences as a science Olympiad competitor to help students currently training both in District 205 and other competing schools in the area. His flexibility with these variety of activities sets him apart, alongside his willingness to be a team player. He has demonstrated repeatedly a willingness to help others, a caring and understanding for people of all ages, and an aptitude for earth science that he's passed on to others. Thank you, Charles. William Parpin was nominated by Leslie Stipe for his leadership as president and service to the Interact Club, a service club at York connected with Rotary International and the Rotary Club of Elmhurst. William is organized and motivated and takes on all the duties necessary to make the club successful, runs the meetings, recruits new members, plans volunteer opportunities. He goes out of his way to make sure that all members feel comfortable. William has a positive attitude and a deep desire to make a difference in the lives of others, and he inspires others at York to think about helping others, as evidenced by the dramatic increase in the number of students who attend the Interact meetings this year. Thank you, William. Lisa Finelli nominated Emma Radcliffe for her commitment to volunteerism generally and volunteerism as a guest assistant at Elmhurst Memorial Hospital. Emma volunteers through York Key Club, National Honor Society, Visitation Parish, and for community events. At the hospital, Emma trains new volunteers, welcomes visitors, answers questions, performs surgery. No, that's not right. Not yet. Gives directions, escorts patients and guests, and assists recently discharged emergency room patients. She has even assisted in the evacuation of the hospital, I'm sure that was a joy, during emergencies and effectively steered escaped patients back to their rooms. She's recognized for her management under stress, problem solving, dependability, intelligence, and positive attitude. Thank you, Emma. Jack Rosenberg was nominated by Paul Rogers for his service through Troop 82 Boy Scouts and for his contributions to the Elmhurst community. Jack's service involves senior shore days, honoring veterans, feeding the hungry, and working with mentally or physically challenged children. For his Eagle Scout project, Jack planned, organized, and completed the rebuilding of a youth baseball field for a local school district. He researched the necessary repairs, replacement materials, organized volunteer workers, calculated and managed donations, obtained materials, led the installation process, and coordinated school district personnel, a landscape company, and many other volunteers. The final product was only accomplished through Jack's strong leadership, problem solving, and commitment. Thank you, Jack. Hayden Snyder was nominated by Shelley Schmitz of Loaves and Fishes Community Services in Naperville for his exemplary service as an outstanding teen volunteer. Hayden has a long history of volunteering at the Yorkfield Food Pantry and extends his service to all of DuPage County. He assembles child nutrition meal bags, is a member of the organization's summer leadership program, and acts as an ambassador to educate county residents about poverty and hunger in DuPage. He also assisted in the creation of a pipeline of volunteers through encouraging middle school students to engage. He earns the respect of other volunteers for his consistently cheerful and enthusiastic attitude. Thank you, Hayden. Siva Sridhar, President-elect of the National Honor Society at York, was nominated by Julie Feldcom Pradem, the group's faculty advisor. She runs the National Honor Society meetings, including over 300 participants, and organizes volunteer events within York and the community. To manage the multiple requests for student volunteers that the Honor Society receives, she built a new website for our students before the new year began. The website helps the Honor Society communicate volunteer needs more easily and readily, allowing greater participation. She also tutors underclassmen several times a week, beginning at 7 a.m., and is one of the most responsible, caring, and hardworking students at York. Congratulations, Eva. Annie Steinorth was nominated by Jessica Tativosian, a teacher at Bryan Middle School. Jessica states that Anna has served diligently as a student volunteer for over the past 2 years, also as a rehearsal assistant. She takes it upon herself to arrive early each day so that she can help with a variety of administrative tasks, such as writing directions for students, setting up audiovisual equipment, sorting choral music, and the list goes on. Her consistent enthusiasm for and commitment to a better educational experience for all has Anna standing above the pack. Thank you very much. Nicole Taylor was nominated by Jackie Tamer for her commitment to the Elmhurst community. Nicole volunteers her time at the Elmhurst Hospital every Thursday evening until 10 p.m. That's including the school year. She's an aide for religious education classes every Sunday at Immaculate Conception, and she volunteers for the National Honor Society. Nicole is also a devoted peer tutor at York. In addition to her commitment to volunteerism locally, Nicole volunteered at the state level in our last governor's election. Nicole puts service above all else. Our community and state are grateful for her commitment. Thank you, Nicole. York students Nikki Spiropoulos and Reagan Toole created a joint nomination. Both are involved in a variety of volunteer activities, including their leadership on the board of York's Key Club, Feed 6 at Holy Apostles in Westchester, and the Salvation Army. Nikki explains that she was compelled to nominate Reagan not only for her contributions, but for her exemplary willingness to spread positivity among others, the happiness she shares, and just kindness. Reagan states that Nikki is an extremely kind, loving, hardworking person who puts 100% into everything that she does. Thank you, Reagan and Nikki, for your enthusiasm and service. Which one are you? Thank you, Nikki. This is Reagan. Gabby Zanoli was nominated by Jackie Tamer for her numerous contributions to the Elmhurst community. As she says, Gabby is touching lives all around her. Gabby serves on the Annie Laguerre Junior Board, describing the foundation's work to schools. She raises funds for the foundation through special events. She also volunteers at Elmhurst Memorial Hospital to help families cope with the losses of their loved ones, an aide during religious education classes, and a Eucharistic minister, bringing the Eucharist to those and their families who cannot attend Mass. She continues to raise awareness and touches all around her who are suffering with loss. Thank you, Gabby. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are all our commendable student individual awards, and could we have a round of applause for all of them, please? We now move to the individual Exemplary Awards, and there are 5 of these. We begin with 2 awards at the middle school level. Jackie Camino was nominated by Kristen Olson for her work with Give to Others, the GTO Club at Churchville Middle School. As Jackie teaches students how to prepare for the bake sales, she demonstrates exemplary patience and passion for the work. She has formed great relationships with them, and they look forward to seeing her. Jackie also contributes to Henry's Hut after school, takes attendance, checks inventory, organizes, and makes sales to customers for the benefit of student education in Uganda. She raises funds through bake sales at Churchville's Fam Night at Churchville and the Marcia Americo student-faculty basketball game. She's always willing to help, and her selflessness is truly inspiring. Thank you, Jackie. Kayanne Gilly is nominated by Kristen Olson at Churchville Middle School. Kaylee Ann volunteers excuse me, with the 6th grade Give to Others GTO Club at Churchville Middle School. The club bakes weekly in order to have monthly bake sales. Kaylee Ann teaches over 45 6th graders how to follow a recipe, verifies that they meet safety and sanitation expectations, and ensures their food turns out correctly. And wouldn't we all want her at home? The profits from the monthly bake sales are donated to various organizations as well and used throughout the school. Kaylee Ann also volunteers at Henry's Hut 3 days a week. The profits from Henry's Hut are donated to Children Up, an Elmhurst organization that sponsors student education in Uganda. She also volunteers at other Churchville special events. No matter how busy she is, she's always willing to go above and beyond in order to help others. And Churchville Middle School has been lucky to have her walking around the halls for the past 3 years. Kaylee Ann. At the high school level, we have 3 awards. Sean Hayes was nominated by a family friend, Susan Gettelson. In her nomination, she writes that Sean's great compassion towards individuals who need help learning, he is unparalleled. He's volunteered with Access Sports since middle school and became a member of the Access Sports Youth Board as a freshman. Independently, he took it upon himself to request a grant for the organization. He's also a member of the peer jury through the Elmhurst Police Department and the use of peer jury to spread opportunities for community service. He's an ambassador at York and a mentor to help new freshmen learn about York and help them have an easy transition to high school. He also volunteers at Elmhurst Hospital. His commitment to identifying and supporting others who struggle, and then to help them locate and access opportunities, exemplifies the important contributions that students make to help each other. And that makes Sean one of this year's high school Exemplary Youth Awardees. Sean. Danny Kolasecki was nominated by Dinas Seidenfest for her commitment to service to Access Sports for over 7 years and 450 service hours. Dina explains that Danny humbly serves as a one-on-one volunteer and is a head coach for soccer, basketball, and track. Dina is also currently serving as the Access Sports Youth Board president and has served on the youth board for the past 4 years. She is one of Access Sports' youngest, yet most effective coaches. She seeks solutions and adjusts to meet the needs of all, inspiring meaningful action and increased participation. She arrives early, stays late, pays attention to the needs of the athletes, volunteers, and coaches. She's eager to learn where others shy away. She leads with purpose and handles difficult situations with poise and respect. She inspires others and utilizes her natural leadership abilities and has positively touched many lives. Not only is Danny leading Access Sports, she's also a cheerleader, and her voice can always be heard cheering on the athletes. Danny. Samantha Uditsky is also cited for exemplary service, and Samantha was nominated twice. Her nominators are Diane Rosenthal Hurt, an Elmhurst resident, and Jamelin Hiskus of Make-A-Wish Foundation. Samantha honors the memory of her young cousin, a wish child, by actively encouraging Elmhurst students to participate in Macy's yearly Believe campaign. The campaign donates $1 to Make-A-Wish for every letter to Santa that Macy's receives. Last year, Samantha raised $4,000 for Make-A-Wish. This past year, she raised over $12,500. She reached out to friends, family, and every student in the Elmhurst schools and asked them to write a letter to Santa. Not a difficult task, right? Samantha visited each school to collect the letters in person, and with additional publicity and an online video, created even more participation. Besides raising funds for the foundation, Samantha raises awareness of just how many children have critical illnesses, and she is creating opportunities to engage her community in her efforts. Samantha is giving children with critical illnesses and their families the chance to have a healing, life-transforming experience that will impact them for years to come. Make-A-Wish Illinois and the City of Elmhurst are very grateful for her hard work. Samantha. Those are our exemplary individual awards, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for those. We now present our group recognitions, first with the commendable groups, and there are 7 of these. And we begin with Access Sports. Michael Felton of Access Sports nominated Gwyneth Burns, Sean Hayes, Danny Kolasecki, Abby Lockey, Grace Rodriguez, and Hannah Seidenfuss for their extraordinary commitment of 6 years to Access Sports and their embodiment of the spirit of volunteerism. These students volunteer with joy every year as they participate in Access Sports soccer, track, basketball, and baseball programs. They're confident and flexible, willing to work with all of the athletes. They arrive early to help set up, stay late to help clean up, and are willing to serve any role. They're patient and compassionate and work together to support one another and find solutions. They're a team. Their nominator explains their example teaches all of us how to live our lives and how to include and treat our community's most vulnerable members. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to see you again. Congratulations. Good to see you again.
Annie Sullivan nominated Abby Holman, Aileen Horn, Sarah Baird, Amy Conkle, Isabella Filusa, Kevin Gnat, Susie Maloney, Caitlin Tempe, and Maddie Welts. I think it's let me find it. Nope, it's not here. So we'll move on. For their work, all of these individuals, for their work with the American Cancer Society Relay for Life. Annie points us to these leaders of this year's Relay for Life Elmhurst. She explains that Elmhurst deserves to be proud of our current Immaculate Conception Catholic Prep and York High School juniors who have been working for Relay for several years and have stepped up this year into positions of leadership. They work throughout the school year to help host fundraisers at their respective high schools, among many other tasks and contributions. And these juniors are the face of the Relay for Life this year, and their high standards and morals, determination, and initiative make us all proud. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your leadership. George Angelos, Blair Faber, Dan McCann, Tim McCann, Honey Tay, and Grace Tully were nominated by Detective Nick Waldenmeyer for their work with the Elmhurst Police Department's Peer Jury Program, an alternative diversion program for first-time juvenile offenders from the formal court system. This group of trained peer jurors has demonstrated strong initiative in preparing questions, been inventive when determining consequences, and provide appropriate follow-up. Their 4 years of contributions and pride in each case promotes a vision of restorative justice. Detective Waldenmeyer explains the dependable and utmost sincerity from these nominees has proven a long track record of success for the Elmhurst Police Department's peer jury program and gained new jurors as well. Thank you for leading the Elmhurst community in the development of this model program. By the way, I want to go back to the Relay for Life just a minute. What I was looking for and couldn't find, and now have found, that Caitlin Tempe is really Caitlin Templeman. And I want to make sure that I corrected that for the family and friends and for that most outstanding young lady. Lenny Jensen, president of the Elmhurst Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, nominated the following 4 high school students for their volunteerism to the Elmhurst Police Explorers for their contributions to the city of Elmhurst. Ariel Doyle, Kevin Moran, Brenton Rousseau, and Brandon Skowarzik. They assist in local parades, direct foot and auto traffic during our many community races, act as crossing guards during the carnival, and participate in police training. From braving the cold of the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the Turkey Trot to managing the heat of the carnival, these young explorers devote their time and they teach us what it means to be a public service. Thank you for your service.
Brent, good to see you again. Congratulations.
Jolene Gundrum and Alexander Kritikos were nominated by Richard Rosenberg for Souls for Kids. Both students have been involved in the Souls for Kids projects that helps economically challenged children receive a free pair of used or usable shoes that in many situations offers them their only way to get to and from school safely in the U.S. and around the world. They organize donor buckets all over Elmhurst, then spend many hours and days collecting, carefully checking, and then sorting the shoes to turn them into over 2,000 pairs this year for Souls for Kids. These students don't get to see the smiles or glow of appreciation from the child recipients, but for Sioux Indian children in South Dakota facing a harsh winter without boots or sturdy shoes, they are absolutely lifesavers. And for children in Tanzania, where footwear is mandatory to attend school, the shoes mean an education and a potential pathway out of poverty. So thank you, Jolene and Alexander, for your dedication and service. Robert Blouse of the York High School Eco Club nominated 3 groups from this club. The first group involves Hadley Brown, Lilia Kirik, and Sarah Chrisinger, nominated for their leadership as recycling coordinators at York and their dedicated service to help the environment. These students recovered a student-led recycling program that wasn't working very well by challenging and changing the perception that recycling is someone else's job. That was no easy task, and these students take the lead in coordinating the effort, have truly stepped up to the plate, and it's definitely showing results. Thank you. The second group cites Louis Camino, Bazidar Kazuba, Lerone Maddie, and Bridget Tully, all nominated as local volunteers for the Eco Club that make things happen. They're always available to help. Their diligence and dedication make us all think about how we can contribute to the environment. They've sorted, peeled, and melted down old crayons, once destined for the landfill, and then transformed them into oversized crayons to be used by children with motor skill issues. Their dedication and service to others and the environment make them stand out from all of their peers. Thank you very much. The third group includes Alexandra Barishman, Elizabeth Dopp, and Jared Frank, all of the York Eco Club, all nominated for their time and talent to create an 8-foot sculpture made primarily of trash and repurposed materials that tells the story of what pollutants go into our lakes and streams as they make their way to the ocean. The sculpture tells the story not only of what is making it into our waters and oceans, but their hazards and what people can do to help remedy the program. This art has been on display at numerous locations, including the DuPage County Building for last year's April Sustainable Design Challenge and the lobby of the DuPage County Building. Thank you very much. Andrew Bendelow from the York High School Garden Club nominated Abigail Patino and Brenton Russo for their efforts spearheading the York's Garden Club for the last 2 years, shepherding it through the growth of new growing spaces, including a new pollinator garden, and preparing the school's gardens for inclusion in the prestigious Elmhurst Garden Club Walk and Fair last summer in 2017. They have each enthusiastically invested time, ideas, and energy above and beyond the norm in order to make their school a more beautiful and effective learning place. They're an inspiration to others and the club sponsors. Thank you both for your leadership and commitment. Those are our commendable group awards, and we can have a round of applause for all of them, please. We now honor our Exemplary Youth Service Award groups, and there are 2 of these. At the elementary school level, the first award goes to a wonderful group of elementary students we're calling the Sweet Treats, including Annabelle Bellich, Allison Bond, Daniel Bond, Ainsley Bazell, Cohen Bazell, Samantha Fleischer, Ava Gato, Charlotte Howe, Ryan Nursick, Sophia Nursick, Charlie Sebastian, Johnny Sebastian, Avi Submararian, Allison Woods, and Jack Woods. And they were all nominated by their neighbor, Jackie Tamer, for their exemplary modeling of taking action and getting involved when tragedy strikes. These young people watched the destruction of Hurricane Irma and wanted to do something to help. They grouped together and decided to have a lemonade stand and donate the sales. But rather than simply selling lemonade, they also honed in on what every neighborhood kid wants, and that is sweets. They started baking, and then they spent hours preparing signs all around the neighborhood. And then, with the help of a parent, they used social media and in one day raised $727.73. We are impressed, please continue, we are impressed with the way these young people got involved and proceeded to get their entire neighborhood involved. And given this leadership, we're sure this involvement will continue. Let's give them another round of applause. At the high school level, we thank Angela Kawasaki of the Holy Cross IHM Youth Program for nominating a group of young high school students which go under the title of Cartwheels for Kids. The young people involved include CZ Lampa, Caitlin Leonard, Grace Maniola, Martha McLuca, Mary Alice Shockey, and Emma Wheatland. This group of extraordinary young women raised funds to support a kids' meal program that operates in the Back of the Yards neighborhood of Chicago. In this community, 98% of the students receive free meals due to their lack of income and neighborhood struggles with childhood hunger. After visiting the program, the volunteers planned and held a local block party fundraising event in Elmhurst to raise funds to fill the meal gap children in Back of the Yards experience during school vacations. They raised funds through Elmhurst and Glenview Kiwanis groups, solicited for donations and prizes, advertised the event, secured and organized volunteers, baked for the cakewalk, kept accounts, created signage, took responsibility for setup and cleanup, organized the prizes and activities, among many other duties. When the results of the event came in, they had raised $6,725, which is over 1/3 of the annual budget for the kids' meal program. Absolutely. The Back of the Yards community was overwhelmed. Their nominators stated, "Their outreach reminds us that we are a web of relationships, one human family, and that efforts like this help create a sense of hope in our world." As a person with 40-plus years of experience in working with youth, I must say that I was more impressed with their initiative, open-mindedness, caring, and hard work than I have seen in many, many organizations of young women. They acted on their dreams, putting themselves into some potentially very uncomfortable situations because they believed in what they wanted to accomplish. Ladies and gentlemen, Cartwheels for Kids. I'll introduce you in a second. This is some of them. They're going to give a speech. So it's now my honor and pleasure to invite 5 of Cartwheels for Kids who are here on stage to address you. We have Caitlin Leonard, Grace Maniola, Martha McLuca, Mary Alice Shockey, and Emma Wheatland, and welcome them to the podium in whatever order they come to it.
Thank you for inviting us to speak today. Hi, my name is Marielle Shaki. When I was in 3rd grade, I read a book called Yellow Star. The story was about a little girl, Sylvia, who had survived the Holocaust. I traveled to Washington, D.C. to meet Sylvia, who is now 81. My life was changed forever. Her memories of being hungry in the Lotz ghetto made a huge impression on me. I was determined to make a difference in the lives of children suffering from hunger today. I asked my friends to help me with an action plan. We came up with the idea to hold a fundraiser called Cartwheels for Kids, because we were all gymnasts at the time. We decided to donate all the money to an organization dedicated to fighting childhood hunger. We'd been encouraged by the kindness and generosity of so many people who have helped us with our mission. We are grateful that we've been able to feed hundreds of children over the years. I'd also like to recognize Cece Lampa, who couldn't be here with us tonight. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emma Wheatland. I volunteer for this event along with other charity work because I love helping people out who are in need, and the way I feel after helping people is incredible. It makes an enormous difference in somebody's life every time. No matter how much money you raise or how many people you help, it means the world to each one of them individually. Being able to impact someone else's life like that is amazing. We work hard throughout the summer to plan our event. We ask for donations from local businesses and use these for prizes for our events. Bounce Houses Are Us Elmhurst has been amazing to us through the years. We are so grateful for the support and the generosity of our friends, neighbors, and local businesses. Cartwheels for Kids takes a lot of work, but it is worth it when we hand the check to our chosen organization.
Hi, I'm Grace Maniola, and I remember the day Mary Alice told us she wanted to start Cartwheels for Kids. We had no idea what we were doing, yet somehow, as 5th graders, we managed to raise $900, which seemed like a fortune, and we donated our earnings to feed my starving children. Each year, we learned from our experiences. We expanded from Mary Alice's backyard to her whole block for the event and increased our profits. In 2015, we donated $2,000 to the Elmhurst Yorkfield Food Pantry, and in 2016, we donated a refrigerator and over $6,000 to the after-school snack program at the Mission of Our Lady of the Angels. This past summer, our event raised $6,700 for the meal program at Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish in the Back of the Yards neighborhood. When we started Cartwheels for Kids, we had no idea how successful we could be. I know how hungry I am after a long day of school and practice, and an after-school snack is so important in being able to recharge and get through my homework. Being able to provide nutritious snacks to other kids is so motivating to all of us.
Hi everyone, I'm Martha Mikluk. Every year we have worked to improve our K4K event to make it a bigger and of course to raise more money. We are learning valuable life lessons and making thoughtful decisions. This year as young kids, as we've gotten older, we've realized that our event must grow and evolve with us to stay relevant for all ages. We are already working on games and activities for the 2018 event, which will be sometime in early August. We hope to attract even more participants of all ages. The reason why I love to volunteer is because I know I'm helping kids in need. It feels like it's the right thing to do. The whole experience is fun and we are encouraged by the kindness of others. My favorite part comes after the event, when we donate to the organization and see how thankful they are. It makes all the hours of work worth it.
Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Leonard, and when we first started K4K, I don't think any of us imagined how many lives we would impact and how a small idea could lead to such great change. When we started our event as 5th graders, we never imagined it would become something so important to all of us. We even took the steps to get 501c3 certified charitable designation. We want to continue to grow our event each year to make a positive impact in our world to end childhood hunger. You can make a difference too. Find something that is meaningful and important to you, no matter how big or small. It doesn't matter what age you are, anyone can help make the world a better place once you decide to do something. I promise, you will gain so much more than you give. We all have. Thank you.
We are at our close. I want to acknowledge the merchants of the Elmhurst City Center, the downtown merchants, for the gift cards that are in the certificate envelopes of all our awardees this evening. I want to also acknowledge Elmhurst, our kind of town cable television crew. This will show up on Channel 6 on Comcast and Channel 99 on UVerse starting sometime next month. Check the newspapers and the city website for the information. I also want to ask you for one last round of applause for all our awardees and our dignitaries this morning. And I invite all of us to continue this very special evening in Elmhurst with the dessert reception right next door in the cafeteria, where you can not only greet your awardee, but all the other awardees that you met tonight and heard all of their amazing stories. Thank you very much. You've been an outstanding and attentive audience. Have a good evening.
Every summer, the Elmhurst Police Department holds their award-winning Neighborhood Roll Call program in neighborhoods throughout Elmhurst, offering residents an opportunity to meet their local police officers in an informal, non-enforcement setting. Occurring on neighborhood corners, officers run their roll call briefings as they change shifts. Residents are invited to listen in and get up to speed on recent issues, as well as to ask any questions they may have. The program runs through the summer months, and signs will mark the area 1 week prior to where the neighborhood roll call will occur. Residents can find detailed information on the city's website and on the Elmhurst Police Department Facebook page.
Traditionally, in neighborhood roll calls, we will meet the citizens. Citizens have the opportunity to meet police officers that work in their specific area, and then we relay information which is important for the residents to know what is going on in their community.
I just like to see that the community came together, that there were people here, that there was plenty of officers here that were super informative.
It's a community engagement event. Members of the community get to come out and talk with us about current events that are going on within the city and different crime hazards that may be occurring, and it's a good opportunity for them to ask us questions.
At the neighborhood roll calls, there's a lot of things that the residents can learn. Just stuff that's been going on in the neighborhood. Not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody reads newspapers.
I just think it's very, very informative, and it's just nice to know that we have such a wonderful police force that is really, truly, watching out for us and in the neighborhoods and everything. So
it's a great time for them to ask us questions, and it's a great time for us to be able to interact with them in a positive light. A lot of times when we go to something, it's not under the best circumstances, and this is a great way for them to interact with us and be able to talk with us and not just see us, passing by in a car or something like that.
It's just kind of nice to hear it firsthand and to get the recommendations, that they're giving us to stay safe.
The goal of the neighborhood roll call is to assist the police department in forming partnerships with the community to inform the residents of any ongoing crime trends which are happening within the town, and also to assist the residents in helping us keep their neighborhood safe.
Coming soon to your neighborhood. Don't miss it. For information, please visit www.elmhurst.org/NRC or call 630-530-3061. Have you visited the Elmhurst Public Library lately? The Kids Library is a wonderful place. When not being used for library programs and classes, Elmhurst Public Library cardholders can reserve the meeting rooms. The second floor is where you can find the adult and teen collections. An enclosed area devoted to high school students provides space to create, play, share, and study together. Use our computers or bring your own to our work-friendly business center. Technology classes for all expertise levels are taught in the computer lab. High-quality audio and visual equipment in the Creative Studio gives you the opportunity to create, record, make, and invent. You can produce real items with the 3D printer and poster printer. Study rooms provide space for studying on your own or working with others. The larger gathering room is available to reserve by Elmhurst Public Library cardholders. Our convenient book drop and drive-up window make picking up and returning library materials a breeze. Don't forget, Elmhurst Public Library is always open online at elmhurstpubliclibrary.org.